Hindu cosmology shows that in 2025 we will enter a new world age cycle. This will mark the end of Kali Yuga, which is the current cycle we are in, also known as the Iron Age, and mark the beginning of Satya Yuga, which is the Golden Age we'll be entering into. The Hindu concept of Yuga cycles refers to the cyclic nature of time in the universe, which is similar to the spiritual beliefs of the Maya, who also understood the cyclical nature of creation. According to Hindu cosmology, time is divided into 4 yugas, also known as ages, each characterized by a specific set of attributes, virtues, and vices. The Yuga cycle corresponds with the solar system's orbit. When we're close to the sun, we experience higher levels of consciousness. Conversely, as we move away, we enter periods like the Kali Yuga, which causes society to experience lower levels of awareness. Recently, our DNA and collective consciousness has been affected due to our solar system aligning with a black hole in the galaxy. These yugas follow one another in a cyclical order. After the completion of one cycle of these 4 yugas, the sequence repeats, forming a continuous cycle known as the Mahayuga. This cycle of Mahayugas continues indefinitely. The Yuga concept is primarily a way to express the spiritual evolution of humanity. The 4 yugas are as follows. Firstly, there is the Satya Yuga, known as the Golden Age. This is the age which we'll be now heading into after 2025. This is the age of truth and virtue. Humanity is said to be morally upright and there is harmony in the world. It is a time of high spiritual consciousness, where humanity is deeply connected to spiritual practices, meditation, and self-realization. The pursuit of knowledge, wisdom, and enlightenment becomes paramount. The natural world is also in perfect harmony during the Satya Yuga. There is an absence of widespread diseases and suffering. Social order is well established and there is a high level of integrity. In Satya Yuga, divine beings and gods are also more directly present and accessible to humanity, as the connection between the earthly realm and the spiritual realm becomes strong. Secondly, we have the Treta Yuga, known as the Silver Age. During this age, virtue diminishes and there is a slight decline in moral and spiritual values, with sacrifices and rituals becoming more elaborate. The third cycle is known as Dvapara Yuga, which is the Bronze Age. In this cycle, people become more materialistic, and there is a noticeable increase in conflicts and unrighteousness. And finally, there is the Kali Yuga, known as the Iron Age, which is the current cycle we're in. In Kali Yuga, there is significant decline in virtue, with righteousness being at its lowest. In addition, greed, selfishness, and moral degradation is at its highest in society. Materialistic pursuits become more prominent during Kali Yuga, with people being driven by a strong desire for wealth, power, and sensory pleasures. Social institutions and moral fabric weaken during Kali Yuga. There is an increase in social unrest, conflict, and discord. Relationships become more transactional as trust between individuals and communities diminish. Despite the challenging nature of Kali Yuga, it is also seen as an age offering unique spiritual opportunities. The difficulties and struggles of this age are believed to provide individuals with the motivation and necessity to turn towards spirituality, seeking inner peace, liberation, and spiritual advancement through devotion and humility. According to the Saptarishi calendar of ancient India, Kali Yuga will end in 2025, after which we will enter a 300-year transitional period before the full manifestation of the next Satya Yuga, the Golden Age, which will take place in 2325. The 300-year transitional period, which begins from 2025, aligns with historical Yuga cycle timelines. Every 2700 years, our planet is impacted by a series of cataclysmic events for a period of a few hundred years, which brings about a total or near-total collapse of civilizations across the world. Following this, a new civilization begins after the destruction. This can be seen in the last transitional period between 9676 BCE to 9976 BCE, which marked the cooling of the Younger Dryas period following a world comet impact and end of the last ice age in 9703 BCE. Other examples include the Black Sea catastrophe of 6700 BCE, the 5.9 kiloyear event of 3900 BCE, and the Greek Dark Ages, which occurred from 800 BCE to 1100 BCE. All these events occurred during the transition period following the end of one Yuga cycle and beginning of the next. The 300-year transitional period following the end of Kali Yuga in 2025 is predicted to result in the collapse of old structures, new wars, significant environmental catastrophes, and cosmic upheaval. However, we'll also see the rise of new spiritual solutions and philosophies, which will awaken humanity to higher consciousness as part of our next phase of development as we journey into the new cycle of the Golden Age. With significant change looming, what does this mean for you? It means your soul has reincarnated in this time of our history to be part of a monumental transition toward a better world. Although you may not be here to witness the Golden Age in 2325, you have a significant role in its creation by how you choose to respond to the upcoming events ahead, as this is what will ultimately shape the progress of our civilization in the next cycle of evolution.